Hey everyone and welcome back. In the previous video we have learned how to create a way to start negotiating with other peer, but in this video we are actually going to start negotiating with other peer. To do that, let's go back to our main repository and using login function, after we successfully logged into the Firebase account, now it's time to instantiate our WebRTC client. So to do that, I'll write private final WebRTC client, and right here we want to use WebRTC client is equal to new WebRTC client, and you can see we need a context here, so we will take the context from login method context, and for the success callback I'll simply use a lambda function, and for observer I'll simply just pass for now and pass username as the username, and for the observer I'll simply create a new my peer connection observer, and I should have removed this final keyword here since it's not inside the constructor. That's okay. So right here I wanna override three functions, and those three functions are going to be on add stream, on connection change, and the last one is on iceCandidates. So the related problem is going to be here, which is going to need a context here. So I'll pass the application context. Let's go back to our main repository class. So you can see this error is gone. So let's create other functions to initialize the surface view renderers. The first one is public void init local view. It's going to get a surface view renderer, and using WebRTC client we simply init local surface view like this, and the other one is public void init remote view. It will get a surface view as well using WebRTC clients and init remote surface view. We pass this one to it. We also wanna get a reference of surface view renderer inside our class. I'll explain to you in a moment. Private surface view renderer remote view, and it's because whenever we receive a stream from our remote we wanna add it to our remote surface view renderer. So this dot remote view is equal to view, and right here whenever we receive this stream we want to use media stream video tracks get at index of 0, then add sync to our remote view. So let's wrap it inside a try catch block and see if something goes wrong like this. And the next function is public void start call, which will require a target of type string, and it simply uses WebRTC client dot call target. And do not forget to add the listener of your WebRTC client class. So WebRTC.listener is equal to this. So we make main repository implement this listener and import this override function. So right here I wanna use my Firebase client and send message to other peer and just pass the model to it. And for the on callback I'll simply pass an empty lambda function. So let's create the helper function like public void switch camera, and it's going to be WebRTC client dot switch camera, public void toggle audio. The boolean should be muted, simply uses WebRTC toggle audio and pass should be muted to it. Should be the same for toggle video. And the last helper function is going to be public void end call, which will simply just uses WebRTC and close connection. And these are just for sending negotiation signals. Now we have to handle the incoming negotiation signals right here on subscribe for latest events. So whenever we receive an incoming event, the first thing that you want to do is to store the targets, which is going to be sender of this model. So to do that, let's create a string of private string of target, and then right here this .target is equal to model.sender. And same goes for starting call. Should copy and paste this here. You want to store the target here as well. And after receiving an offer, you want to use WebRTC clients on remote session received and pass new session description. And for the session description type, we simply use the type class, and type is going to be offer. The value is going to be model.getData. After setting this session description on our peer connection as the remote session description, we simply want to answer the call using answer function, and the target is going to be model.getSender, or just the target. And in case of receiving the answer, we want to use WebRTC clients and set on remote session received, pass the new session description. The type is going to be answer, and the data is going to be model.getData. And in case of receiving an iceCandidate, we want to try to deserialize it from a string to our data model class. So I'll wrap it inside a try catch block, then create an iceCandidate object like this, and using JSON, which I don't have it here, private final JSON, type JSON is equal to new JSON. Simple as that. And from JSON, I'll pass model.getData, and for the data model, I'll use iceCandidates.class. And if nothing goes wrong, I'll use the WebRTC client and add iceCandidates and pass candidate to it. So this is one, we're receiving the iceCandidate from the other peer, but we didn't handle it inside generating iceCandidate from our peer connection. So to do that, we simply want to use the WebRTC client and send iceCandidates and add the iceCandidate as argument. And the reason that I didn't go to this line first, it's because you didn't know how to store the targets. So we want to use the target that I received from my offer for making sure I want to use it inside the answer as well. So as you can see, we find the target here, then when our peer connection generates an iceCandidate, so we want to use the target to exchange it to the other peer. And right here, whenever the status of the connection is changing, first we want to check if new status or new state is equal to connected, and our listener, which I do not have here, so I'll come back here and create a public interface of listener, which will have two functions of WebRTC connected, and the other one is WebRTC closed. So let's go up here and create a public object of it, listener, public listener of type listener. Right here we check if listener is not null. We want to use listener and call WebRTC connected, and also check if the new connection is closed or it's disconnected. And then I want to check if listener is not null, then I want to use the listener and say WebRTC is closed. So in this case, we will notify whenever a connection is established and whenever its connection is closed. So let's use this function inside our call activity. Let's go up here before subscribing for anything. I wanna use main repository and in its local view and using views dot local view, I'll pass it, and in its remote view, I'll simply pass remote view to it. Then set the listener to this class and let my call activity implement the methods on WebRTC connected and closed. So it's time to start the call when we actually press the start call button here or accept call button here. To do that, I'll use main repository and start call. The target is going to be data.getSender, and here for other buttons like views.switch camera button, I'll set a listener to it like this, and using main repository.switch camera we will handle it. And for two mic button and video button, I'll just copy and paste it because it's not about the design. So let's create these two variable, is camera muted and is mic muted. We will keep a trace of camera and microphone status. Initially both of them will be false, so they are not muted, they are working right now. And on the toggle buttons, we will check if it's muted. If it's true, then switch back to it's not muted, and vice versa, and then toggle the audio and switch the value of the is microphone muted. Same goes for the video track. And for the end call button, I'll set a listener and using main repository get end call and then finish the activity. And inside here, whenever the WebRTC client is connected, you want to run on UI thread, pass a lambda function as the runnable, and incoming call layout should be invisible, so we'll change the visibility to view.gone. Who to call layout should be gone as well, and call layout should be visible. And also in case of closing WebRTC, we simply want to finish the activity, which we can use the lambda reference like this. And before I forget, let's add the permission to our application. The first permission is going to be record audio, and the second permission is going to be camera. So let's go back to our login activity, and before we log in, actually we have to get permission here. So using permission X library init and pass the permissions after this line using permission function, and then request and new request callback. Let's convert it to lambda and check if all granted. Then we want to use the login function here. So let's rerun our application again, and let's log it, and let's log it with child here. You can see we have to grant the permission for camera and microphone, and parent here, same goes here. So let's call child, it will get notified, let's accept it. We can check if the SDP and candidate is being transferred here, and go back here. You can see the connection is established and the data is being transferred. So if I switch my camera, you can see the camera is being switched here. If I disable this video track, you can see that video track is disabled, and same goes for my audio track. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I tried to create a quick tutorial about video call in Android with WebRTC library and using Java language. So I hope it's helpful for you guys, and if you have any idea that what would be the next tutorial, let me know in the comment section below. And do not forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel and share it with your friends to spread the knowledge. So thank you everyone for watching. Till the next tutorial, see you everyone.